So we were kind of kicking around with our callers and amongst ourselves whether Nationals fans should be panicking. And I want your take on that because they do have Strasburg and Max in the next two games. However, when you're down 1-0 in a 5-game series, we went through the history of it. The odds aren't good.
You're 72% chance to lose.
And you're facing a Dodgers team that they're very good and they have great pitchers too.
Yeah, well, and yeah, exactly. I mean, the Nationals have both Strasburg and Scherzer both on short rest. So you wonder, even if they pitch well, how deep each will be able to go into the game. Strasburg only pitched 3 innings Tuesday, but he's still coming back on 2 days. That's not something he's ever done. Scherzer has pitched on 3 days rest in the past.
I think Scherzer will be on normal rest, actually, because there's the day off.
No. Oh, you're right. They play Sunday. My mistake. Right. Yeah, for some reason I had him playing Saturday. Good point. So Scherzer is on normal rest, but he hasn't been great since he came back from the injury. And the Dodgers are going to run Kershaw and Ryu out there. So it will not be easy. And we knew this going in. The Dodgers won 106 games, and they're very good. And the other thing to remember about the Dodgers is they've got at least as much pressure on them as the Nationals have on themselves. And the Nationals' pressure is that they've never advanced out of the division series. The Dodgers' pressure is they've won 7 straight Western Division titles, been to 2 straight World Series, but haven't won one since 1988. So I don't think you panic down 1-0. For example, if the Nats had won last night, would we be sitting here talking, oh, well, they're going to win? No, we'd be saying, oh, good, they got off to a good start, but now they've got to face Kershaw and Ryu. You lost the first game, puts more pressure on you for sure in Game 2, but it certainly doesn't mean that the series is over.
The Dodgers certainly didn't look like they had pressure, but maybe to the later rounds. Like, this is old hat to them.
Well, the pressure would come if they have to come back to D.C. 1-1, or if they were to fall behind 2-1, then certainly there'd be pressure, or if there was a 5th game. In Game 1, you're right, there wasn't any great pressure, and the Nationals didn't put pressure on them. They had that one opportunity in the 4th inning. I was still up at that point, and didn't score, and that helped. And Buehler's good, because if he sends Buehler out there over Kershaw and he doesn't pitch well, he's going to get second-guessed. And he didn't care. He said, I think the best thing for us is to go with Buehler, and Buehler justified it ultimately. But you're right. The pressure would come if they get to either close to or in an elimination game. And that's what the Nats have to do to put the pressure on them.
So do you like Davey's decision to go with Strasburg tonight? Because he is on shorter rest, having pitched in relief on Tuesday night.
You got to go with Strasburg tonight. You have to. You can't run Joe Ross out there and hope that he has one of his good games. You have to go with the guy who's been your best pitcher, certainly for the last 2 months, and hope that he can come through in a pressure situation. This is a huge pressure situation. I don't see him going much past the 6th inning, as I said, even if he pitches well. So the bullpen's going to have a good night if they get in position to win. But you got to go with Strasburg. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I've been saying all along, I'm not even that worried about the pitching. I mean, the bullpen is what it is. I think our guys are good. They'll keep us in the game. Corbin, even though he wasn't stellar, kept them in the game. But
Corbin pitched well.
Yeah,
Corbin pitched well. Buehler pitched better.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah, it's fair.
There's nothing wrong with the way Corbin. If you had said to Davey before that game started, Corbin's going to give you 6 innings and give up 2 runs, he'd have taken it.
You take it, yeah, every time. So I think that the starters for sure, all of them, even Strauss on short rest, I think they're all going to be fine. It's just going to be the bats. And for whatever reason, and JP always says,
they're facing a tough pitching staff.
Always.
I mean, I go back years ago when I did my book on Messina and Glavine. The Yankees were in that stretch where they got to postseason every year, but they hadn't won a World Series since 2009 without winning one. Now they've gone 10 since then without winning one. But I asked Messina, I said, why is it you guys can get to postseason every year, but you haven't been able to win a World Series? Because he was never on a World Series winning team. And he said, you have to understand there's a difference between a team that is built to win in the regular season and a team that's built to win in postseason. And he pointed out that what the Yankees did was they beat up on bad teams during the regular season. They would, hammer the teams at the bottom of the division and other bad teams, and they'd win their 95 to 100 games every year. But when you get into postseason, you're playing good teams with good pitching. You're not going to put up 8, 9, 10 runs every second or third night. You're going to struggle for runs. And that's what the Nats are facing right now. They have a very potent lineup, some very good hitters, but they're facing very good pitchers.
I want to ask you about the information that leaked out about Rendon and the contract. And, the initial reporting was, oh, that looks pretty good. It's in the ballpark, 210, $30 million a year. But then the way I look at it, but I look at it as, wow, this is kind of playing out the way the Bryce deal did. Leak the offer right at the end of the season. You already know it's not going to work. It looks like you offered him $30 million. There's deferred money in there, which complicates things, of course. We've also heard behind the scenes that people are saying this is their best offer. I don't think he's coming back. I think this is going to play out just like Bryce. Well, if that's their best offer, he's not coming back.
Yeah. If this was a first offer, and like you said, they always like it to be out there how hard they're trying to re-sign guys. They did that with Bryce. Good point. But if that's a first offer and they understand at some point, he's going to free agency. We know that. Mm-hmm. And at some point, somebody's going to offer him more than that because he's a hell of a player.
Right.
All right? Somebody's going to offer him a good deal more than that. And then the question becomes, do the learners wade back in and say, okay, Anthony, you were offered, let's just make up a number, 300. We're going to offer you 325 or 330, whatever. That's the question. Because if they match or better the offer, whatever it is, then I think he'll stay. But they have to be prepared to do that because he's going to take the best offer, which he should, as a baseball player, and remember who his agent is.
Yeah. I think it's over. I think it's over.